Around 100 friends, former staff and relatives of Diana, Princess of Wales, will attend a party tonight to thank the donors who helped fund the statue, which was unveiled on what would have been her 60th birthday.
Well, we know who won't be there. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who, of course, are now living in some splendour in California. They won't be at the dinner. And Meghan Markle's father, Thomas, believes that that's a sign that the couple are pushing away the royal family, Harry's side of the family, and Thomas Markle joins us now from Mexico. Before we get into that, Mr Markle, I was chatting to a friend last night when I heard that you were going to be coming on the show, not for the first time this morning, and they said to me what a lot of people say in this country is, why does Thomas Markle just not shut up? Why does he keep talking about this? Because surely all he's doing is driving his daughter further and further away with every interview he does. Not just in this country, but you appear on the American networks as well. And my reply was, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong about this, it's the only way he can talk to his daughter. It's the only way you think you can communicate with Meghan, because she doesn't take your calls, she doesn't take your emails. So TV interviews, and it's sad, but TV interviews are the only way that you can communicate with her. Am I right in saying that?
I've made it quite clear that until I hear from her, till she does speak to me, that I'll continue to do this. I will do a show at least in a month if I can get it through, and eventually, sooner or later, she should start talking to me. This is way too childish. This is kind of silly. It's time to talk with each other. We're family. The kids are going to grow up without knowing that they have two families. This is more than just me and my daughter now. This is me and my daughter, her husband, and two babies involved now.
What about...
So it's time to do something. It's time to talk.
Sorry, what about her mother? Do you have any communication with her either?
I've tried a few times. I don't even know where her mother is at this point. I don't think she's in Los Angeles or with Meghan and Harry. I don't know where she's at.
It's incredibly sad.
But I have tried to contact her.
Why do you think Meghan is so implacable with you? You know, you are her dad. You obviously know her very, very well. You were once very close. What is it about her character, do you think, her mindset, which is allowing her to keep you completely at arm's length?
You're asking me a question that's 4 years old, and I can't answer it. I don't know what changed her. She's never been that way before, once she hooked up with Harry, she changed. I understand that, you know, she hooked up with Soho Club and a different group of people, but she's pretty much disowned both sides of her family. And I don't understand the reason for it. I'm
sitting in what used to be Piers Morgan's old chair. And if he were here, the presenter of this programme, and if he were here, he'd say that she has a long history of ghosting people, including him. That once people's usefulness has been used up, this is what Piers would have said, she moves on and doesn't look back. It is extraordinary, if that's the case, that she'd do that to her own father.
Yes, and it seems that that's what's happened. There are some reasons that she got upset with me, and one was that she thought I was giving too much attention to her brother and sister, who are also, you know, I mean, they're stepbrothers and stepsisters, but nonetheless, she wanted me to stop talking to them, and I couldn't. We're at a point where I think both of us, we should grow up, talk, make up, for the sake of the children right now, and for ourselves. This is ridiculous. It's been going on for almost 4 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, of course, hello, Thomas. We've spoken a number of times on this programme before, and you know, viewers will know that the reason the main reason behind your falling out was the paparazzi pictures just before the wedding. And then, of course, there's been a legal dispute, you know, that she's won over the breach of privacy and copyright because of a letter, you know, private letter between you both. You know, it's a devastating shame for your family that there has been this fallout. And, of course, you know, people might see the reasons why there has been a fallout. Richard has already asked, you know, about the reasons that you want to continue doing the television interviews. Your son, Thomas Markle Jr., is taking part in Australia's Big Brother VIP. And he said some very critical things about Meghan and her relationship with her first husband and what that might mean for Prince Harry. I just wonder, you know, is that in any way helpful?
Well, I mean, my son Tom has been shunned just like I have been, and I'm sure he's responding the same way others are that get ghosted. I mean, you know, Pierce was right. We all get ghosted. So somebody wants to respond, you know. If you go back into history and read Meghan's TIG that she had on the internet, you'll find hundreds of things where she praises me. And now suddenly it's like she doesn't know me. So take the time, read TIG, find TIG and find out what she says about me.
I know, and it's sad because, you know, she wrote very loving things about you. Unfortunately, family dynamics can disintegrate, can't they? But the trouble with this situation is that you have two new grandchildren who you must be afraid you won't meet, Lilibet and Archie.
I'm very concerned about that. I'd love to see my grandchildren. And people have suggested in California that I sue to see my kids. And I think if I did that, I'd be a hypocrite. I'd be doing the same thing that Meghan and Harry are doing. I don't want to include my grandchildren in this kind of situation. I want to see my grandchildren with friendly parents and friendship all around. I don't want hostile parents and then seeing my grandchildren. So
you say that suggestions had been made that you could take legal action. Had you been given any indication that that would lead to any success?
Yes, I have. I've been told by several lawyers that grandparents have sued to see their grandchildren and won in California. And that
you would have grounds to do that?
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I don't want to involve my grandchildren as pawns in a game. They're not part of the game. Well, I mean, they're my grandchildren. I want to see my grandchildren.
Well, let's go back to where we came in. This big party in London tonight. About 100 friends, former staff, relatives of Diana, family, are going to be at this party to thank donors who helped fund the statue, which, of course, Harry did come across and met his brother and his father when that statue was unveiled. But he's not coming tonight, either on his own or with Meghan. I presume you would simply say that this is all part and parcel of Meghan's ghosting campaign, which now applies to the British royal family. It's certainly the case on this side of the Atlantic, Thomas, that we increasingly feel that Harry and Meghan are playing to the American market pretty much exclusively and don't really care what people here think about what they say or do. Would you agree with that?
I think that's true. I think Harry has abandoned the Queen, his grandma, the royal family, the British people, and the army. He's abandoned them all. And all he does now is ride a bicycle around the neighborhood he lives in. I don't know it's much of a life for him either. Doesn't make sense.
Well, they're certainly very rich.
Do you think they're happy, Thomas?
Well, money isn't everything, but the book he's writing should be not finding freedom. It should be finding money. That's all they seem to care about right now.
Do you ever get... I mean, obviously, Meghan has no contact with you at all, hence this interview. Do you ever get any feedback from third parties about what she thinks about you now? Do you have any information at all from the outer circle that they're in?
Not a word, no. There were some people quite some time ago in a magazine that said some things about me that were her friends, and insults and lies. I've been trying to get their names and go after them for quite some time, and it hasn't happened yet. But
well, whatever the rights and wrongs.
Harry's coming out with a.
Carry on.
With a book, and that can't be anything but cruel, and to insult his grandmother and the Queen. It's a ridiculous idea. It's just something for money. That's all they're doing. Everything they're doing is for money. But to do that to your grandmother and the Queen, who's 95 years old, is shameful.
Well, I think we all know, and I'm sure you'd agree, that all family disputes, bitter disputes like this one, have two sides. There are always two sides to the argument. But having said that, Thomas, I have to say I feel desperately sorry for you, as a father myself, that you've been so comprehensively cut out of your flesh and blood's life. It does seem a fairly brutal outcome to an initial miscalculation to do with the, as you say, the paparazzi photographs.
When was the last time you tried to get in touch with your daughter, Thomas?
About a month ago, maybe. I mean, I really can't go down to Montecito because I'll be pointed out as a stalker, so I can't do much about that. But my message for the kids is that they have two loving families, and their great-grandmother is a Queen of England, and I think that's important for them to know. It's important for them to know that they have two families, and eventually they're going to grow up and they're going to want to know more about them. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Thomas, thank you for your time.